Welcome back to It Was Never a Phase Cards, your best source for daily Pokemon card content. My name is TJ, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about the biggest movers of the week. And we're just going to jump straight into this because we got some pretty big movement happening right off the bat. And we are starting off with Pikachu and Zechrom, the Sun and Moon promo. This is number SM168, where Pikachu is riding the Zechrom. Now, this card is we've covered this card before, and we're starting to see some more movement on it. You can see currently lowest listeds are around $150, which would be well above the current market price. Now, this did shoot up recently from under 100 to in the 120s and continuing to rise. What you will notice on this is the supply is starting to get pretty low. Only 20 copies currently available on TCG Player. But it's not this card that's had the biggest movement. It's the tin that this card comes in is actually seeing some insane gains, albeit the card is seeing some pretty good gains as well. If we jump over to the tin, check this out. This is kind of wild. This card, tin rather, is up 46% in the past 3 months, going from just under $200 to current market at $293. However, most recent sale is $450, and there's only one listing on TCG Player at $500. Now, you may be wondering, okay, that's probably just a TCG Player thing. Nope, this is how much these tins are going for. Check them out on eBay. This was the last one that sold on eBay yesterday. This one went on bids, $510. So this is what the tins are selling for, and currently listeds on eBay are right at the $500 mark as well. So we are seeing the tins. Here's another sale right here on the tins, $510. Now, if we scroll down right here to, let's go just to the bottom to the last sold we can find. May 28th. This was a $320 tin last month. So less than a month ago, actually, that this was a $320 tin. Now we're seeing over $500 for this tin, which honestly is a very cool tin. I like this tin a lot. You know, you got a really great promo card. You got 4 packs, but it's just kind of wild to think of, like, you give enough time, especially, and then you get the right tin. You got black and white coming out soon. I don't know how much of that is necessarily playing a factor. Obviously, we had the Japanese release. I don't know if it's just a combination of there's a lot of Sun and Moon tag team stuff moving lately. So maybe a combination between that. Obviously, you pair that with Pikachu and the black and white, and that's where you're seeing some pretty crazy movement. And then back to the promo card real quickly. We are seeing some pretty big price jumps in PSA 10s of this card as well. This is the last sold. This was 2 days ago. This went on bids, $1,300. Before that, pretty much about $1,000. More recently, you have 1150 crossed out. You have 1100 right here, 1080 and $1,000, 1050. So pretty consistent over 1,000 the last few sales. 1150. If we do the same thing, if we scroll down as far down as it'll go for the first page, last sold May 5th on this card was $575, and then May 6th $570. So pretty much doubling in price in the period of, this would be a little bit over a month. This card has doubled in a PSA 10. So that honestly is pretty crazy as well. I mean, it makes sense with the tin doing what the tin's doing, and obviously them going up, but just wild to see how big of increases some of these products can have. So yeah, man, absolutely crazy. And we've covered this card quite a bit as it's gone up and up and up over the past few months. So just to jump back to that just for a second, I did want to cover that. We'll zoom out a little bit here because we didn't talk about this just for a second. Over the past 6 months, this card has went from a $46 card. It's up over 166%, and on the year, 354%. This was a $25 card 1 year ago. So absolutely craziness happening there. And then we're going to jump to black and white. Now, this is one that we have covered recently as well, but obviously it pairs with the Pikachu and Zechrom that we just talked about. This is the Zechrom number 114 full art from black and white. This one continuing to climb, 102% up just in the past 3 months, from $66 up to $133. Current market at $141. Another low supply card on TCG Player, only 8 copies currently available, and you see this market at $140. Well, this card's shooting up once we get some sales. Lowest listed, $285, and then it just goes up from there into the 300s and into the 400s. So we'll see how high it goes, but it looks like it's definitely going to be climbing and climbing. Once we get a few more sales, you can see it's not a ton of sales that happen very often. You can see it's only a few per month that we're realistically looking at. So give it another month and maybe this card will be much higher, probably upon black and white release. So something interesting there to keep an eye on as well. Then we have another Sun and Moon era promo tag team. One of my favorites. I absolutely love the art style that they chose on this. The Glass Birds. So this is SM210, the Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno. The Glass Birds card. This one continuing to shoot up pretty big, up 75% in the past 3 months. This is one that, as you will see as we zoom out, was pretty affordable and available everywhere, not very expensive, but going from 47 up into the 83, 84 range just in the past 3 months, with 59% growth coming just in the past month. And the more you zoom out, the more growth you're going to see. 363% gain in the past year. This was a $16 promo card just under a year ago in September. So from $16 up to around $85 currently. And lowest listeds, you can see you got a few in the 80s, the 90s, and then it looks like potentially possibly moving up into the $100 range, if you can believe that. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this card. Where does this card top out at? Obviously, it's a really nice promo, and it makes sense why this card is moving, but it's just kind of wild to see sometimes when a card goes from like so crazy, like undervalued, to 16, 15 bucks to just like creeping up on 100. It just sometimes blows your mind, even though it happens. Like we see it happen like fairly regularly, but it's just wild to see. But yeah, great card. Had to talk about it. So yeah, that's what we have for the Sun and Moon stuff. Then we're gonna go back in time a little bit and then jump to some cards that are actually declining. But real quick, this is the Mew EX from Dragons Exalted. Getting to talk about some older sets here. This is number 46, ultra rare. This card has shot up quite a bit recently. In the past 3 months, 124% up. I like the coloring that they have going on here. It's a very cool looking Mew. But from a $40 card up to over 100 recently, extremely low supply. 2 copies currently listed on TCG Player, and lowest listeds are higher than the current market. You got $140 and then one listing at $300. We'll see if this continues to go up or not. As far as sales go, you can see in the past month, 2, 4, 5, 6 sales in the past month, which drove it up 51%. So we'll see if those prices hold at all. It is a nice looking card, but yeah, as far as that price goes, like I'm not chasing this at $300. Personally, I think there's better Mew arts out there personally that I like better, but you know, it is cool to see like from an old set like Dragons Exalted getting a little bit of attention here on the chart, and in the past year 207%. So that's what we're looking at on the year, with most of that growth coming within the past 3 months, and 51% in the past month alone. So Dragons Exalted, and then I was just looking around Dragons Exalted since that Mew came up, and I wanted to see what else there was. This Rayquaza came up. It's not as crazy by any means, but I just thought it was a cool looking card. This is number 85, ultra rare. It's up only 26%, but still seeing some decent gains. I like this one a little bit more than the Mew. Besides, I do like the coloring on the Mew, but I just thought this was a cool looking card. And look at this quantity available, 1,800 copies. But anyways, so that makes sense why it's not up as much, but 26% up from a $7 card, and it has come down a little bit. It was in the 10s. Now it's down in the 9s. So just keep that in mind, and lowest listed around $7. But a little bit of movement on another card from the set that I did think was kind of cool. So definitely an interesting comparison. 1,800 copies versus 2 available. Supply and demand at its finest there. Obviously different cards, but just interesting there. And then cards that I've continued to drop. Is this is one that we're going to continue to talk about possibly for a while. It's the Charizard from 151. This is a special illustration rare, the Sunzard, if you will. This card's been continuing to drop, and it looks like it's going to continue to drop into the summer. You can see, and we've touched on it before, we're probably going to keep talking about it. This was around a $300 card in February, late February, early March, and now we're seeing it at 180 and continuing to drop. You can see lowest listed right now in the 170s and 180s. So we'll see where it bottoms out, but it doesn't look like it's bottoming out quite yet. Not quite as difficult to pull, really. There's 151's a kind of a generous set as far as pull rates go, all things considered. So yeah, it's just not that hard to pull. 220 copies available. We'll see where people end up going with this card, how low it goes. It's starting to catch up on the 1 year. While it's still up pretty big, 47%. A year ago, it looks like the low was 106. So we'll see how close it gets back down to that price. It's going to level out at some point. There will be a bottoming out point, but we just don't know where that is. So with the current market at 182, it hasn't been there since looks like October of last year is when we saw the last time we saw this card. So at this price, so it's pretty much eliminated all of the gains that we've seen since October, which it climbed from late October all the way up until March is where how long that climb went for. And so we've eliminated all of that. So we're back to pre-October pricing when it comes to the Charizard. So something to keep an eye on. I'll definitely keep you guys updated on this card and a lot of the Scarlet Violet era cards as well. But this is just one that into the summertime, we're going to see where it bottoms out. But setting a higher low is usually what you want to see. So from this point, it's still looking fairly good. From here, obviously, it's not because it retraced all the way back to where it was, which usually is something you don't want to see. You want to see it settle at a higher low. So this just proves that this was unsustainable growth. It just wasn't able to sustain too many copies out there to hold at that price point. So if it holds above this price in the like 120s, anywhere above that, then that's still pretty good for long-term growth. So anyway, it's just something to keep an eye on. That's why you don't chase single prices when they go real big, real quick, because you can get burned fast on singles. Sealed's usually a different story. You don't see it fluctuate quite like this. So anyways, that's why I do lean sealed for a lot of my pickups. But back to some other cards that are dropping. We just talked about these ones not that long ago as well. These are all those Destined Rivals stamped cards you can see that are dropping quite a bit now. This is the Team Rocket's Tyranitar. This is the staff one, right? This is the one we talked about multiple versions of. There's also a Pokemon Center one, but you can see pre-release staff just continuing to drop. This was as high as $144 and dropping. Market at $60. Lowest listed right now at $60 currently. So continuing to drop in price. We'll see where this one bottoms out at as well. People still going crazy for the stamps. I feel like they moved on from the PC ETB stamps to just anything else with a stamp. It's kind of drawn a lot of attention. Here's just the regular pre-release with no stamp. And this one shot up, right? This is one that we just talked about shooting up from about $5-6 into the $20 range, and now it's down into the 12s, which is still up 143%. Still some massive gains, right? It's just not holding in that $20 range. And lowest listeds are reflecting that around $12 price currently. So that's doing still decent compared to where it was at. Then you have another card like Ethan's Typhlosion, same thing, right? Pre-release, you got the Destined Rival stamp. This one's only up 11%. It was a $15 card back here. It shot up as high as 25, and now we're seeing around $16 currently. So this one's come down quite a bit as well. Had a little bit of a fluctuation. So anyone who bought at this low of 12 and sold at 25 did pretty good on those. So see where they bottom out. It is cool. Like, I do like the stamps, but it's just like sometimes I think people go a little bit too crazy. And then this actually is one that I need to pick up some copies of. Is Misty's Gyarados, just because I'm a big Gyarados fan personally, and I wouldn't mind picking it up, especially the stamped version. And a little bit of uniqueness to it, but this one came out the gate at 20, and it's pretty much dropped to around 10 and came back up with a little bit of the hype to around 14, and now it's back down to sub 10. $9.97, although current listings are above $10, so around a $10 card for Misty's Gyarados. Might pick up a few copies of this one just to have in the collection as a Gyarados collector. Might wait a little bit longer and see if it continues to drop. 113 copies. Actually, let's just do a quick comparison to end it off. This is the last card, but let's see what the supply is looking at. So Gyarados is at 113. Typhlosion has 129. Tyranitar has 143. And then the staff has 32 copies available, just for reference on what supply is currently listed on TCG Player. Make sure you check eBay and other places as well for some of those cards. Like always, you can always find stuff on eBay cheaper. It really depends. Sometimes eBay is more expensive, but you know, the better thing about eBay, if you're looking for specifically like higher quality or gradable cards, you know, eBay can be a lot better for that because you see the photos that will be listed there. So that's why I do prefer eBay when it comes to, if you're looking to grade. If you're just looking for binder copies or whatever, as long as it's near mint and doesn't matter, or buying in bulk, you're just buying a ton, then TCG Player is definitely easier from that perspective. So, but anyways, that's what I have for you guys in this one. These were the hottest cards. Let me know in the comments what your favorite was, or if you were surprised by anything. I think it was really cool to see the tag team stuff, the Pikachu and Zechrom. Those tins going crazy. It's kind of cool to see. So yeah, that was definitely my favorite, I think. And then the glass birds getting some respect when it comes to monetary value. Nice to see there as well, because I've always liked that card. That's all I have. I'll catch you guys in the next one, and remember, it was never a phase.